giving away a $20 PlayStation or Xbox gift card. All you need to do to enter is like the video, subscribe, and leave a comment of which card you want. Enjoy the video.
Indiana State Police launched an active shooter simulation inside a local school this morning. The hope is to train teachers how to respond to a gunman by creating a scenario that is as close to real life as possible. News Channel 15's Adam Widener has the story from Kendallville.
State police tell me that they haven't done this sort of training inside a local school for at least 10 years. While the scenario wasn't real, the impact it had on teachers was anything but fake. Shots fired inside East Noble Middle School. That nightmare turned into class for teachers there this morning.
Scary.
It makes me nervous.
Rose Rickey and Cody Friels were two of the dozens of teachers in the training, watching the fake shooter walk through the main entrance, firing blank rounds at volunteer students. Responding officers eventually found the shooter on the 3rd floor of the school. The simulation happened fast, only a few minutes, but state police hope the lesson lasts longer.
We're trying to get the teachers to think about what can they use in their classrooms to defend themselves. If they're going to run, where are they going to run to?
Troopers put together the training program after the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary. They're offering the program to any school corporation across the state that wants it.
I don't think you're really truly prepared for something like this until you are there. And this is as close as we can get.
For the first-year teacher, Friel says the training marks a world in which he doesn't know any different.
That was nerve-wracking just in itself, and it was all fake. So just thinking about that and imagining it being real, it worries you.
But for the 37-year veteran, Ricky found the situation disturbing, yet necessary.
In the back of your mind, you have to have that seed that you're going to be ready, because others are depending on you to be ready. And even though we were just watching, we were the spectators, my heart just kind of went out to what they're going to have to deal with if that happened.
In Kendallville, Adam Widener, News Channel.
In homes across America tonight, from Highfield Lane to County Road 170, from rural Georgia to Walnut Avenue in New Jersey, every third house in the neighborhood on average has guns inside. Some locked, some hidden, some out and loaded. 1.7 million children live where there are unlocked and loaded guns, and friends come to play.
There's one right there. It's pretty hard to find that one.
It's up there, Mom.
Sitting on the kitchen table.
I have it in my Juicy Couture box.
Loaded guns on a bookshelf, under a pillow, in a backpack, even a diaper bag.
A handgun in a child's diaper bag.
But so many of the moms and dads are certain they have taught their high-energy children do not touch and do not play with guns.
They know the consequences of not being safe with it.
They're not toys, they're to be respected.
They are taught to not touch them at a young age.
So we wondered, what are young children doing when parents are not looking? Come with us to McManus School in St. Petersburg, Florida, which helped us find parents and kids, nearly all of whom had been taught don't touch a gun and tell an adult. 44 children, and we took half of them to reinforce that message. The St. Petersburg police gave a safety class, and they looked at the popular video from the NRA, Eddie Eagle.
Now stop! Don't touch! Leave the area, tell an adult!
Stop! Don't touch! Leave the area, tell an adult!
The kids have it cold. Working with us, Professor Marjorie Sanfilippo of Eckerd College, a published expert in pediatric psychology and gun safety. And so we are ready. With full permission of the parents, we put 7 cameras inside a room, in toy bins, and the butterfly on the ceiling. And then, after a few days, the St. Petersburg police give us guns, real guns, unloaded. We place them in a room, candy on the table nearby. And again, these are 44 good kids, most of whom know the rules by heart, and parents about to get the shock of their lives. As we begin, this first group of boys are about to show you something you will see over and over again.
Oh, no!
Their words say, don't touch that gun.
Back away from it.
But their bodies can't seem to help it. Think of it as a dance of temptation at the table. And then around the room, even as they are chanting the rules a total of 20 times.
I know!
They know to do it, But they do not. And 6 minutes after finding that gun,
Don't touch the gun.
they touch and dance again. Our second group of boys is about to do the same.
Don't touch.
But they take only 2 minutes, not just to touch, but to pound the barrel. And then the third group.
Don't mess with it.
Within 10 minutes, they take the gun out and do this. Professor Sanfilippo says that is a scene that is too often played out in real life.
These 3-year-olds who shoot themselves in the head, for whatever reason, it's a natural thing to look down the barrel.
Right afterwards, this young boy narrates what he's doing as he's crossing the line.
I'm touching it. I'm pulling it. See how many times?
His friend shows this is how you check to see if a gun is real.
Just seeing it real.
Finally, after they've had time to play, they get around to those rules.
Help! Help! We found a gun. 2 guns. 3. 2 guns.
Did you guys touch it when I was gone?
No. Yes.
You did touch it when I was gone?
We did touch it.
You did. Did you touch it?
Yeah.
No, you didn't?
And then what happens with our fourth group of boys? Well, Professor Sanfilippo has barely left the room when one of them sees the gun and in 6 seconds has pointed it at his face. They put it back, pull it out,
It's not funny.
and then aim at each other. Another child trying to figure out a gun by staring down the barrel. And what kid gets a gun in his hand and doesn't want to pretend he's in the movies?
Put the gun down! Dude, that is a real gun. It's not funny.
Professor Sanfilippo had seen enough.
It's not a real gun. Yes! Right here.
Okay, but what are you touching it for?
The professor and the police officer asked for clarification.
We both knew not to pull it. And the first thing we were going to do when you came back in was going to tell you this.
And you did. You told me right away. And then you picked it up and pointed it at me.
We weren't going to, fire it or anything because we're both smart enough to know not to pull it.
Here we are, 4 groups of boys, and our expert says a powerful truth.
They can learn the knowledge. They could sit down, we could ask them to repeat it, but you can't educate curiosity out of a child.
So you may be wondering, were there any kids who did follow the rules, and who were they?
Oh, I found the gun!
After the Connecticut shooting, some parents felt unsafe sending their children to school, but one 11-year-old boy's mother thought that maybe it's a good idea to arm my 11-year-old son with a gun. So an 11-year-old student at West Kearns Elementary in Salt Lake City showed up to class with a handgun, pulled it out during recess and pointed it to one of his students. The student says he pulled out a gun and he put it to my head, me and my friend, and he said he was going to kill us. I told him I was going to tell, but he said, if you tell, I'm going to kill you.
That's really weird. An 11-year-old, the minute they get into a slight conflict, decide to pull out the weapon that they have in their bag. I would have thought that an 11-year-old was incredibly mature and would never do that. We have adults in this country that are nowhere near mature enough that do it all the time, and then they claim stand your ground and all that nonsense, right? You know, gun to an 11-year-old. Now, I remember when we were taking kids and expelling them for having Tweety chains.
Right.
You remember? Like,
yes.
oh, no, you can't do that. They'd bring in nail clippers. Oh, expelled. Now everybody's so gun crazy, they're like, well, nail clippers you get expelled for, but Rick Perry's talking about arming the teachers. I mean, if more guns always equals safer, right? So if all the kids have guns, my God, think about how safe everybody could be.
Yeah, well, to be fair, this 11-year-old boy is being investigated. He has been placed in a juvenile detention center until he basically goes to trial to see what his sentencing will be. So it's the right way to handle the situation. And look, he's an 11-year-old kid. The knucklehead is the parent that made this decision.
Absolutely. And I would be shocked if the NRA didn't defend him. Look, you think that they're not going to go that far? They argued for and won the right of people on the terrorist watch list to have weapons. If you think that they think possible terrorists should have weapons, they're not going to argue for a mother who's just trying to defend her family and make sure after a tragic shooting that her son is safe by having a weapon on him? It was just an innocent mistake.